Is it an issue yet today? Do I have nothing?
All right, let's
There
get
you
this
go.
started.
Nice.
All right, welcome everyone to Matt Hoffman's SSX Tricky Downhill Underwater Basket Jam with friends. Today we're interviewing the wonderful Biancaprobably. She's a Twitch streamer and a comedian. That's right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
Good friend of mine from back home. So let's kick things off. How would you tell us about yourself?
Oh, I love this question. I always tell people the most important thing about me is that I auditioned for MTV's The Real World and didn't get it. I feel like that's very descriptive of my personality. But the boring stuff. I am a comedian, Midwest comedian for the last 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. That's weird. Um, but obviously I've been displaced thanks to Miss COVID. So in lieu of performing in live shows, I've picked up streaming about 2 months ago, where I've streamed from things from like The Sims to Among Us as of literally last night. Borderlands is another big one, and fun stuff like that while connecting with people. So it's been a fun creative outlet.
Oh
In
yeah.
the meantime, even though I was streaming on Twitch was something I was already always curious about because I've always loved video games. Um, However, money was a problem. I didn't have a decent PC. So the money I was going to use to go to anime conventions in Bonnaroo this year, I just used to get a decent computer and set up, and here we are.
What do you run?
See, this is the part. I'm glad that I put it in my Twitch now because basically when I was looking at getting a computer, all my friends like, if you don't fucking build it yourself, and I was like, I don't know how to do it, and they're like, buy these parts. I'm like, I still don't know what I'm doing. And then what my friend literally had to do was like go to like PC Picker and screenshot. It was like, this is what you need. Go to the Microsoft man and tell him this is what you need. It was very much like a kid with a grocery list. That's what I felt like.
Oh,
But I saved my specs on my profile. So I have Ryzen 5 3600, Gigabyte B450M. Those are certainly numbers.
Those are
in a
numbers
letter.
and letters.
My RAM is Ripjaws 5 16, or I'm assuming that's supposed to be Roman numeral. Ripjaws 5 16 gigs. My video card is an Asus GeForce GTX 1650. And those are the ones I wrote down on my profile, so I hope those are the relevant ones.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
I always found building computers to be extremely satisfying. Like once you like when you like really like figure it out, you know what you're doing. It's just like it's a good hobby.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive hobby though.
Also, that when my friend was building it for me, also shout out to Garrett, thank you. When my friend was building it for me, it was like, oh, this isn't like as hard as I thought it was, and it actually seems like it's like Tetris, like everything here. It's very lovely. Do I think I could pick it up tomorrow? Absolutely not. But like, I know if it's something I wanted to do in the future, it's not. It wouldn't be.
You could figure it out. It's not. It's not like some paywall well, it is a paywall. It's just not like as hard as everyone makes it out to be.
Yeah, but it was it was very satisfying. One thing I was really happy is just having, because I've been running my shitty laptop for maybe like 5 years, and it was refreshing to have a system that could run The Sims without it crying. So, which The Sims is probably what I'm most passionate about. Because I've played The Sims. The Sims has lasted longer than any of my relationships. It has been there for me. I've been playing The Sims since day one. So I was really heartbroken with the more expansion packs I bought, because of course expansion packs are a thing because EA is a cannibalistic company, but I won't get into that. But it was just like the more I added, the less power I had. And I was like, no. So now just opening up The Sims and being able to breathe on it at the same time is refreshing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So for the longest time, my last partner was super into Sims, and for the longest time she was playing it on a just like an HP like compact, pretty much. So it was just like super small. I think it had a total of like 8 gigs of hard drive, which was just incredible to me.
Yeah.
Because I usually run in like the high terabytes. And I remember so I built this rig, right? And this rig's just stupid over the top. I spent a big portion of my reenlistment bonus on it just to get it. But I took my old PC, threw a bunch of shit in there, some extra stuff, and now like her first time playing The Sims on it, I just remember she was freaking the fuck out. Like she got back from a trip, and I had like just like got it done setting it up, had a Sims wallpaper, all of the expansion packs we owned downloaded on it. It was a good time.
That's nice. It was like I just wanted to like cry because I had to like run my stuff in laptop mode. I had to like basically all my Sims to look like potatoes. But I was like, oh my god, I can see their freckles. It was like very exciting to be able to venture in that, and then just to be able to play it online and talk to other people who are passionate about The Sims is just been really nice.
And like the cool thing is like, especially like having a competent PC is like now you can stream your antics. You can run a single other program alongside it, if not more.
One thing I really like to do with The Sims, and that I did when I was playing it on my laptop, is I really like to watch stuff while I'm playing The Sims, like building houses and like listening to music or like watching a TV show or something. And then like it's just been so much easier because I have a double monitor setup as well. So I can have my sibs on one stream and I can watch something. What I actually do on Sundays is I play music in the background, which is all mashup music or remixed music, so Twitch doesn't yell at me. But it's nice to just be able to even do that while also running my Streamlabs and everything like that. So it's been a fun journey, and even also learning all the stuff like Streamlabs. For me, who I considered myself at least kind of tech savvy, but like me getting on Twitch, I felt like such a old woman. I'm like, can they see me? Can the kids see me? It was very much like how like I had learned a lot from my fellow streamers, because it's just like I don't know. I learned, like, I feel like my mom asking for like help with Facebook, and now I feel extremely grateful that my friends don't react like I do to my mom, like, oh my god, mom, just get it, you know.
How don't you understand this? It's easy.
It's simple as this and this and this. But I'm learning Twitch, I'm learning Streamlabs, I'm learning everything, and in its own due time.
I saw you on Facebook. You posted you were working on a custom overlay too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did make my own overlay with the year of Photoshop experience I remember from high school, as well as some very helpful YouTube videos. So I made my own overlay and my own like starting soon and my own ending soon and all that fun stuff, which I used not Animate, what's the After Effects to make the like ending soon, starting soon, just to give them a little bit of motion. But yeah, I made my own overlay because I was like, I could pay someone to do this, or I can figure it out myself. So I figured it out myself. I will be commissioning people for like emotes and sub badges and stuff. Well, I did my first couple of emotes.
Some technical issues. So to make you feel better about maybe like still learning things, we spent this whole 13 minutes so far, or well, it's been like 5 minutes since it actually started on the starting screen because I'm stupid. And now for some reason it's not capturing the game, so I'm gonna have to start like fucking Tony Hawk over again. We can definitely keep talking though, like there's nothing saying that we have to be done.
It's like, well, let's see ya. No, that's actually I was watching the guy's stream and he had his face up instead of the game for like about 10 minutes. So
I think I've got a couple of streams where it's like completely muted just because like I forgot to unmute my Can you move?
Hi, dog.
This is Loki. He's my shepherd.
Hi. I work with dogs, so I'm very passionate about dogs. I usually would be more excited, but I'm so sleep deprived. Bye, Loki. I love you. I love every single dog.
I realized I also wasn't in multi-stream chat, so I'm waiting to see the barrage of messages of like, you're stupid and you need to be better.
I mean, that happens, and we deal with that as it comes. Where did I? Okay, there it is. I've definitely just had fun moments where I've forgotten to switch screens. Last night I was playing Among Us, where you're supposed to mute. I'm supposed to mute your fellow folks, and I didn't do that last night for one of the games where I was clearly the killer. So that was fun. And yeah. Technical difficulties. Soup's great.
Yeah, it happens. Like you'll just be like, wow, this is going really well. I got a bunch of viewers. I've got like everything's going nice, and then you'll be like, oh, probably because everyone was waiting for me to start.
Yeah. Patient. I actually have my best friend, who I love very much. She was streaming like through her PlayStation, and like she's streaming Jackbox through her PlayStation, and I got online. I was like, oh, she's on, I'll stop by and say hi. And it was like the credit screen, and Lord only knows how long that credit screen was there because she had definitely fallen asleep. but she had about 9 viewers. So, you know. And so I had to text her. I was like, ma'am, turn off your Twitch. She was like, I fell asleep. It's like, you just had probably the best stream ever.
With a bunch of dudes watching you sleep.
Yeah. So it was fine. She worked it out. Luckily her face was off cam, so that would have been a particularly
more awkward. Probably would have way more viewers.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go with what the people want. Make that a channel reward point, which I'm also learning stuff with that. So it's been a fun ride.
So I only do this because so I work just a shitload, just all the fucking time. So like a lot of my off time is spent playing video games, and it's like I've had this is more of like a collection thing. So like I have a record of like what I do and like of my friends. So I can like keep those memories because like we do a lot of fucking stupid garbage when we play games together. And then started getting some more viewers. Wow, that was good. And then just someone was like, you should like interview people, and that's where this whole idea came from. I think like it's more just for fun for me at this point, which is like definitely a lot less stressful than a lot of people who are trying to do this as like a career or a living or just as some form of like extra income.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm in a very fortunate position in the within everything that I am still working full time. My income from comedy and burlesque, it definitely was certainly extra income that I missed, but it wasn't like the end all be all of like my like me being able to like do things like afford groceries or make rent. So I'm very grateful for that, and I'm not relying on Twitch for that either. I am an affiliate, so which is cool. I do have revenue, which is cool, but it's not something that I'm expecting to make buku bucks over. I am super grateful for all my subscribers, and I had friends drop like a whole bunch of gifted subs in my chat last night, and like it'd be cool to see money back, like from like things like just like
oh hey, this thing I like to do is actually generating a revenue for me.
Yeah, which is kind of not necessarily I view comedy. I do take comedy fairly seriously. But it's just kind of like that energy that I would be going to shows and things like that. I have just kind of just put into Twitch. Not that virtual comedy shows aren't lucrative or cool. For me, I feel like it's I haven't really found a way to manage find a way to do my comedy on a Zoom call. So I've done variants of my comedy. So I've done storytelling shows, and I've done I did my favorite, which is my PowerPoint comparing my X hookups to sandwiches. And yeah, which is a weird concept I came up with. I don't even know how it came up. But I was like, I guess I'm gonna do this, and I did it for Drunk PowerPoint a few years ago.
Such a good concept.
Yeah. I also did How the Sims Made Me Gay, so there's that. But my favorite and like folks' favorite that like they're like I have to see this is my comparing my exes to sandwiches. And then it's like so I've done like things like that. I'm also, since I reached my subscriber goal much quicker than I thought it was going to, next week I will be reading my fan fiction from 10 years ago. So
may have to tune into that. I'm off for like the next 12 days after tonight's work, so I will definitely have time for once in my life.
Oh yeah, I will be doing that probably next Thursday. And it sure is from when I was 17, all right. It is bad. I actually read it like once a year to keep myself humble.
to remind yourself, like, your roots. You gotta remember where you came from.
This is who you are. Yeah, so that is what I will be doing on Thursday evening, is reading my Yu-Gi-Oh! SSX Serenity fan fiction.
It's so much better now that I'm aware of the topic.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. It sure happened, all right. What's worse, when I go through the comments, they were so supportive. I was like, no, please bully me. I shouldn't have made this.
This was a crime against God.
It sure was. I don't know why I fancied myself a writer. But I did, and I was writing on topics I had no clue about, which were like anything mature. I was writing mature fan fiction and was not old enough to technically read mature fan fiction on that website. So, soup's fun. I actually deleted it from the website, but I found it through the Wayback Machine. So that was a humbling experience. One thing about...
Cool. There is still a record of my sin.
Yeah, I was really obsessed with the band Say Anything at that time. So all of the chapters are named after Say Anything songs. And God, so if that doesn't hurt so bad. So I've tried to read this very same fan fiction for a show, and I barely could get through it. I think I only read about 5 minutes of it. So I will be reading at least 2 hours of it.
Wait, how long of a book is this?
It is 13 chapters, and like some of those chapters are thick. So.
Jesus Christ. Whoa, that's the farthest I've ever launched a board.
I was like, Jesus, Christmas cracker. But yeah, it's been fun to kind of still have an outlet, and just me having to get creative on how I can still produce content while I am not, like, there are a lot of my, I'll say peers. I was gonna say colleagues, but I was like, that sounds too fucking official. There are a lot of my peers who have returned to doing shows. They have like, they are in clubs, and like, because I have friends who are like doing outside shows or like things like that to try to like mitigate like some of
the
like
effect.
Any spread. Yeah, but there are a few folks that are like in comedy clubs. Actually, fun fact, D.L. Hughley is supposed to be coming to Columbus Funny Bone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, sir, didn't you do this? Did we not learn? Because since he got COVID and gave it to his like people that were on his show that night, and could have spread it to his audience and like things like that.
Profit.
Yeah.
But profit.
And I get it. Like, some people do use comedy as like their primary source of income. But it's just still, I still find it to be like incredibly irresponsible at this time. I've had this discussion with a few comedians where they're like, yeah, like as soon as those clubs open, I'm going back to work. Or those like, hey, kind of don't want to get sick, so try not to do that. So I'm going to wait until I feel like it's actually safe. I have my problems with the Columbus Funny Bone Annie Hoozles, so it's just I'm not.
I've always heard, just 'cause I got a lot of friends in like the live scenes in general, like on both sides, like performers and like stagehands. And I don't think I've ever heard anyone say like anything just inherently good about the Funny Bone.
No, I have I've had not big problems with the Funny Bone. I also understand that my content isn't the content the Funny Bone wants.
Yeah, because they want like family-friendly comedy, right?
Not even family-friendly. It's just like people that go to a mall, what would they find funny? And turns out the black woman who's talking about having sex with women is not really their jam. And I was like, okay. And so I've had that conversation. It's been fun. And then of course like they have like a talent search thing where like if you win you get to like open for a weekend at the Funny Bone, and I think you win like $100 or something.
And they don't want you to win. That's probably for sure.
Yeah. And that's definitely like a bringer show. So like the more people you bring, the better your odds, which is just more money for another way for them to earn a bunch of money. So I don't like them. And they also did something super fun, which was like basically stop having local comedy on the show after they felt attacked after someone planned a show the same night as their little problematic comedian that they booked. They were like, this was a protest show and we're mad. So since you guys are not appreciative, no more local comedy at the Funny Bone. And I was like, sorry, did your seats still sell out? Because they absolutely did. So I don't know what the fuck's your damage that this show happened on the same night. Like, you don't own Friday nights, bro.
It'd be like Bill Gates getting pickpocketed for a couple dollars and then cutting all of his charity funding.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best analogy for that. So they stopped doing like the contest that they had that I had already decided to stop doing by that point. And I try to avoid going to see shows there. I did go see a show there with my friend because she had the ticket and she was really passionate about seeing the comedian, who's Dan Cummings, he was really great. But like the people that run the Funny Bone like opened with a whole bunch of like street jokes and misogynist jokes, and it was just stupid. It was dumb. And I was like, are we still doing like my wife jokes like this in the year of our Lord at that point, 2019? I'm like, what are we doing? He also, the same person, like insulted my comedy mom, who
That's never good.
yeah, basically, because she has a joke where she's like, I'm 50, like I don't really look 50, which she doesn't. She looks fantastic. And he's like, immediately got on stage after, was like, that bitch looks at least 50 or something like that. And it's like, man, bro, first of all, let's not be derogatory.
Don't you just hate it when you're not funny enough to actually come up with good content and you just have to shit on
yeah,
quote unquote lesser comedians?
Yeah, so I wasn't there for that, but I really wish I was, so I could have ran up on him. I was like, first off, I'm like, but my comedy mom's fantastic. I met her shortly after starting comedy, and it was also a big part of like, hey, we're both black women, and this is my first time seeing a black woman after doing stand up for like a month. So she was very, very helped me be formative in that way, just carving away when there are maybe not as many opportunities extended to you as everyone else. She's also, one thing she also gets like shit for is because she's a vet and she mentions it in her set. And
like a
then
veterinarian or a veteran?
A veteran.
Gotcha.
She and then there are like dudes in their 20s that are like, you only say that to get applause. And she's like,
fucking hate people like that.
she was like, yep, that's what I was thinking when I was getting shot at, was like, man, I sure hope that Chad laughs at this in 10 years.
To be fair, I definitely can't wait until Armed Services Appreciation Day. I fucking love getting free shit. It's definitely not why, but it is a huge perk.
Yeah,
it doesn't make up for the suicidal tendencies and PTSD, though. That's for sure.
It is just like, and at least we have this. It's a band-aid over. It is a band-aid over a severed wound, probably. Just like, man, I can't wait to get some free ice cream one day a year. But yeah, she's awesome. Funny Bones, not so awesome. Comedy. Actually, I had this conversation last night about comedy. It's just there's always such a sensitivities. Of course, since I do belong to a couple marginalized groups, they're like, you just can't joke about anything anymore. you just you can't joke. Everyone's so sensitive. I'm like, no, I am a big believer that everything can be joked about, but not everybody can write a joke. Like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
very, very big believer of that, and I think people just blow it off as just, oh, people are sensitive and you can't say anything. It's like, no, you just aren't funny. So either get funny, get a writer, or stop doing comedy. Um, either one really works for me. I have no emotional investment in this. Um, it is just always, especially with a lot of things being virtual right now. And then people who are like trying to carve out different ways, like going to TikTok or making like sketches or whatever. I'm just like, it's really exposing them for like, hey, this just isn't funny, and it's just like
This isn't
more
funny, and you
so.
should probably rethink some of your decisions that led you to this point.
Yeah, this could have stayed in your drafts. Twitter has been. I've transitioned to using Twitter as my primary social media. Um, but just like there are some people, it's like maybe I believe in human rights, but maybe you don't deserve rights specifically. So
I
it's
understand
fun.
that feeling.
It's like this, like there are 12 hours a day where you're probably conscious, like fully, like have full cognitive, like understanding, and then you decided within that 12 hours that you were going to write this, and then you posted it, and I'm like, cool. Um, but it everyone's adapting, and some people that are trying to adapt should just be phased out, and that's the end of that. Like, maybe you should pick up knitting.
Survival of the fittest, you know? And like
Yeah,
people that are actually funny and enjoyable to have around.
yeah, they're and so I'm hoping that the dinosaurs will die out by the time that we can have regular comedy shows again.
That'd be
And
nice.
they're just, no, it's like, I don't even want to do this anymore. It's like, perfect. Because I also don't want you to do this anymore. I'm glad that we're on the same wavelength, and we're having a party on the same wavelength. Um, because like I've seen people joke about serious topics. I joke about serious topics. Um, and I feel more than warranted in those topics because I pull from my own experience, or I can write a joke. So
Oh yeah.
uh, it's it's always just interesting to see that conversation of like what's funny, and like what can we actually joke about, especially amid COVID and things like that. So I think because I have TikTok, because I want to be with the cool kids, I have TikTok, and they're like, Gen Z is so dark,
I
but
love it. It's so good.
like when they have jokes about like they have jokes just involving like experiences, like, dealing with COVID, going to school during COVID, like even going to
Growing up
school.
in a dystopia.
Yeah, like growing up after like 9/11 and everything. It's just crazy. It's like, this is like, Gen Z has been through so much, and their comedy shows it, and I'm like, can't even be mad at them. Like, yeah, because like there's a difference between like if there's someone who is in their like 30s or something, like making a joke about kids getting violent at school. Like these, like Gen Z actually has to experience that. I'm just like actively currently. So it's just, anytime they make a joke about it, I'm like, I don't even know if I should joke about this, but I laugh at this, but I can't help it. I can't even really say this is inappropriate because it's literally your experience every single day. Um, it's been cool to see how funny they are.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
really
really excited
interesting.
watching Gen Z like come into the actual scene. Like
Mhm.
my former sister-in-law is Gen Z, and I know she's probably just like she turned 19 this year. She's like probably one of the funniest people I know at this point. But it's like thanks to her that like I understand all of the fucking Gen Z memes, and holy fucking shit, they are good. But then seeing more people like come into their own and like start entering like the quote unquote adult world and make their mark on society is something I'm really happy to see.
Yeah, big agree. And I think, speaking of dinosaurs, just like folks that are just like, oh, Gen Z this, Gen Z that. I was just like, well, what did you think you're gonna be here forever? Like you're not a pharaoh. Like what did you think was gonna happen? You're gonna be Lord of Comedy for like the rest of your life. I'm always excited for new people to join the scene. And well, new people that are funny. I'm always excited for new people that are funny to join the scene and try to cultivate a path and disrupt and make people
disrupt the norm.
Yeah, just like make people like double down. Like when I have some new folks in the scene, I'm just that are funny. I'm like, oh cool, let me write a little bit more. Let me grind a little bit more, and then like, but not as like a competition. Just like because at the end of the day, I'm in competition with only myself. But like just like to
it's like a motivator almost.
Yeah, like
you gotta keep up.
You're working, I'm working, we're working. It's fantastic. But there are people that are like, oh, like so anti-TikTok and people like getting like famous that way. I think like if people are funny on TikTok and producing just kind of like if you're producing content that I like is funny and you are really cultivating a path on TikTok, I feel like I can't help but celebrate that. And like, you know, I think it's cool. Like, I think TikTok, even though I trash TikTok as per the millennial thing is to do, I am happy with my cute little 2,000 followers on TikTok. We're friendly. I wave to them when I feel like making TikToks. I wave to them. And some of the funniest things I've laughed at recently is on TikTok. It's such a time suck. I have to like limit myself when I'm on there because I'm just like, oh cool, it's 4 a.m. now and I've been on TikTok since 1. So it's fun though. It's fun to see where things are gonna go. I'm trying to adapt to at least what I hope isn't a new normal. Truly hope this isn't a new normal, but it is so what's normal right now.
This is gonna be it. Like I'm like, I don't know at what point are we gonna actually like feel safe enough to like go back to normal. It's just like I can't think of what it would be. Maybe a vaccine would definitely be a big part of it.
Yeah.
But then you've also got certain people, I say hesitantly, who are explicitly going to refuse to get it.
I mean,
I don't know.
I do love Ohio that has cute things like anti-mask rallies. I'm just like, oh, so natural selection. It's I don't know, like, knock on wood, but this is the longest time I've gone without getting sick.
Right?
In my entire life. I usually, like, even dating back to this time last year, I was sick in October, I was sick in November, I was sick in December, I was sick in January, I was sick in February. I was sick on and off in those months. And then in March, when I was stuck at home, or like if I went out, it was with a mask, like, oh, like this is the healthiest I've been.
I'm not
like my entire life.
Shitheads germs.
So once we do reach some form of normalcy, which I don't know when that's going to be, but once we do reach some form of normalcy, absolutely keeping the mask, absolutely 100%.
That's a big thing in a lot of like Eastern culture. So like in Japan, Korea, China, like masks are a huge thing for the reason why we wear them here. Which, for anyone watching who doesn't know, is because your mouth is gross and you don't want everyone to get that.
Yeah. It was something I did not really truly think about, because I've seen it like in like videos or like heard it discussed or whatever, but like it never really registered to me. But I'm like, but no, that makes literally so much sense. And then like the common criticism is just like, oh, you're sheep. I'm like, but I'm a sheep that's healthy. Like, I'm a sheep that can breathe in and out pretty okay. Like,
I am
if
not
you
an
re-
intubated sheep.
yeah, I just don't know what the fascination is to be like, let me just like deep throat your germs. Like, is that cool? Like, that's not. If that's what freedom means to you, I don't want to know you.
So for the
So,
longest time, I've been a libertarian, but now I'm a lot more leaning towards like more like bottom left. So like
okay.
I'm a big fan of like keeping rights, minimizing taxes on the American people, but I'm also a huge fan of national health care. Maybe I think my only big criticism with universal healthcare is I don't want this specific government running it. Not just
Yeah.
like the in its administration, but like
Yeah.
the this government as a whole is not citizen centric, and it
Hmm.
like hasn't been for decades. Like you see it working really well in all these other countries, and I'm just like, I wish we could do that here, but I don't trust DC to do it right.
Yeah.
But like, and instead of like taxing the average person, just like treating corporations as what they are, and taxing the shit out of these multi-billion and trillion-dollar groups.
Hmm. It is. It's just like fascinating to me. Like that some things are up for discussion. I'm just like, even with like COVID relief, that's such a big discussion. Going on Twitter and seeing Canadians be like, y'all got like
We still got
$1,000
$2,000 a
once.
month.
Yeah, like, and even though the rates are going up like in Canada right now, because me and the coronavirus updates page are like this, son. I'm on that bitch every day. Um, Especially since I have started streaming. I have friends in other countries now.
Oh, that's cool.
So I like just tracking numbers and like where they are. But it's just like Canada's rates are going up, but like they still have under like 10,000 cases for the whole damn
Oh yeah,
country.
nobody compares to how America is number one.
Yeah, like we just are such overachievers. I remember. Facebook has been fun the last few months. I remember getting into like my friend's shitty boyfriend, which just my big thing, and this might be a slight diversion and a tangent. My big thing is just don't date people that embarrass you. I I don't know what's hard about that, but don't date people that constantly embarrass you. I just
Are you
don't
saying more
get it.
like don't date people who are embarrassing, or don't date people who what they do is embarrassing to you?
Yeah, the latter.
Okay.
I've seen many a girlfriend collect their drunk boyfriend at the club. I've seen many a partner pop off on the mouth on Facebook and get dragged, and then like my friend is like nowhere to be found. I was like, come collect your garbage, bruh. Like I am not dealing with this. But there was this man on my Facebook who was like, DeWine needs to open up and look how Florida's doing. And no. That was before Florida was #1 in cases by a fucking country mile. And it's like, look how Florida's doing, and and we just like mass. No, you don't have my permission to contact trace me, no sir. I'm like,
I hate people like that. Like nobody fucking cares about what you have to say. Put a
yeah.
mask on.
So I got in an argument with him on a couple of things on his Facebook, and also tagged him on my Facebook because I felt messy one day. And he ended up blocking me, but I was like, damn, I kind of really want to see what he's saying now.
Damn, I'm
Kind
having
of
such
want
a
to
good
see
time
what
with
he's
this.
saying. Oh, I should ask some of my friends that are still on his Facebook. I was like, I just want to know, how's Jonathan dealing with this? I need to know. How's Jonathan dealing with these numbers?
Wait,
Um,
is it Jonathan Nothnagle? Is that who it
No.
is? Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
I do not know him.
Leroy. One
Ah,
of Jim's like uncle or dad or something. Jim Nothnagle from the old times.
mhm.
I remember it was always a peach going across this desk because like Jim and Ray are super left leaning, and we ignore that because they clear bias on their posts. But Leroy is super boomer and just comes in with these off the wall, just the dumbest shit, like boomer shit, you know.
Yeah.
And he finally like blocked him a few months ago, and it was probably one of those disappointing parts of my life is not getting to see old man Leroy come in with the shit posting.
That's why I keep some people on my Facebook. I did reach a boiling point, but like after that, I was like, man, maybe I should have kept that around. Like, just like I could have like unfollowed them and like just checked at my leisure when I had the spoons to do it. But like, I kind of wish I kept them around. There are a couple people I keep around because their lives are a mess. So so that's what actually. There's a girl I added on Facebook. I don't know if I could at liberty to. Well, I probably won't get into it here. Oh no, I'm not doxing like anyone. I just had a situation with a girl on Facebook who like it was a girl I went to high school with, and then she was like clearly racist. And then she deleted me, and then she tried to add me back, and then I found out some updates about her life that were.
Commitment. Like, you know, I blocked you, but like I still have more racist shit I want to say to you.
Yeah, I guess like she like it was years after, and then she had added me back. And probably because like it was like some people started talking about high school reunions, and maybe she's like, maybe let me add Bianca so she doesn't like drag me. It's fucking high school reunion. She's smart. She won't go because I went to what is considered an urban high school. So
urban.
Oh, urban. Which I don't. My 10-year 10-year reunion would be next year, so I don't even know if that's going to be feasible. Especially they were talking about getting on a boat, and it's like I'm not getting on a fucking boat. At this point, absolutely not.
We got to be real cool for me to get on a boat with people in the first place. But with what's going on, we better already be like daily swapping spit, so I know I won't get sick.
Absolutely. To further extend, it was just like some updates on her life that are sad, but also the way that was handled is inherent. Like I was like, I have to write a joke about this. So I have a joke about her, and I have done it once, and I told myself I would only do it once. And then I'm like probably off stream. I'll give you more context.
Yeah,
but
I really want to know more.
It's so. Oh my god. But I did the joke once, and I'm like, but now that like everything's shut down, and I haven't done comedy on a stage with a microphone since March, I'm like, kind of want to do the fucking joke now. kind of wanna do it like for every set I do for the rest of my life. But we'll see how I feel. But yeah, she was one I kept around. She has since deleted me again.
Is she aware of the joke?
Oh no, she is not.
That would make this story way more crazier.
Yeah, she's not aware of the joke. I don't think any of our mutual friends are aware about like I don't think she would like send anyone to my comedy shows or anything like that.
So it's a good thing I didn't directly tag you in the post I shared.
Well, probably good. She's probably still creeping on my profile.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Which I know I have a couple people that still creep on my profile. But yeah, I keep a couple people from like high school where I'm just like, I just need validation sometimes.
I need to know that I'm not the problem.
Yeah. There was a girl in high school that threatened to like kill me and a few of my friends. But like my friend saw her at like a PetSmart the other day, and she's apparently doing fine now and seems more stable. So good for her.
Good for her getting some help.
Yeah. I'm also good for me for not getting murdered. That was
super good. That one's a pretty big plus.
Would have been a real bummer summer for my senior year. And probably like my loved ones, but you know, whatever. But yeah, definitely do keep a couple of trash fires on my Facebook for shits and grins. Until those trash fires come to my status, it's like, oh no, you're here for decoration. You don't get to
What
speak on
gives
my
you
status.
the right to speak?
It's like we need to reevaluate the what constitutes this as a no, we're not doing this. Um, but I digress. Facebook and social media in general has just been fun and just picking and choosing my battles. I haven't been real. Usually, I'm a person that was like, if you like, I'm not gonna delete you. You're gonna delete me. Like that's fine. And if my posts annoy you, then my posts annoy you. However, this last couple months, but for one reason or the other, I'm just like, or I can fight you, and then and like help you into deleting me, or I'll just delete you after.
It's super fucking stressful being a fucking keyboard warrior. Just like, even if like you don't care about it, it's just like you'll post like a reasonable argument, and then someone will come in and they'll be like, "Oh, COVID, QAnon, mask, Hitler did this, Hitler, Clinton, etc."
One more
and you're just
fucking time.
like, I don't know where to start with this response comment. Like my favorite like trope to do whenever I get in debates with people is like, look, I don't have the time to explain and then completely explain my entire argument like with that. I hate it. Someone was like we don't talk about but like cops are always on the table as a thing I love to talk about on this, because I'm allowed to go out on record and just say fuck the police, because like that's not so and so and so and so.
Yeah.
And
it is.
That's
been my favorite thing.
I shared a thing. It was like something cyanide happiness. It was like, I'm a cop. Well, I'm a cop, and they like were putting on white hoods. Like, well, let's go to work. And someone got in there. Was like, hey, my cousin's a cop, and he's a great guy. I'm like. So I just like, you know what? I don't have time for this, and I just sent him like, I think I found like 6 or 7 different links to explain defunding the police, what's wrong with the police, why BLM isn't Marxist, why BLM isn't a hate group, and why knowing a cop who's a good person doesn't justify the systemic brutality and fuckery that is the American police system.
Yeah, it's been my favorite thing. Was just like, well, my favorite response that I saw was just like, oh, like, you know, cops, Blue Lives Matter. Is like, oh, what about other jobs? Like, have you not considered firefighters or teachers? They're like, oh, but we're really just focused on this one because they're getting attacked. I'm like, oh, so you get it, but you're just racist. Okay, I just making sure.
Got it. I understand.
It is. It's fun. But yeah, I had a lot of debates over that. Like good old Jonathan. Oh, how I miss you, Jonathan. Explained how he wasn't racist against, like how he wasn't racist because he helped a Muslim man once.
Oh yeah, of course. I've heard that argument. It's like, oh well, I work with people of color or people of a certain faith. That means I'm not racist because it's okay. And it's like, I literally heard you say 3 days ago that we need to go over and kill all the Muslims because 9/11/2 is going to happen.
Yeah. So
like, pick
how
a side,
about
just be honest with yourself. Like, I'm not. I already think pretty lowly of you. Just commit.
God, I was like, really. Oh God, I miss Jonathan. He commented on a status about opening up, and somebody on his status was like, so you don't want, like, this isn't fair to Black and Brown communities, and they're like, and I was like, I guess I have time. So I was like, this is like, because he was like, I don't know, like blah blah blah. You're making this about race, and it's not about race. It's like, actually, if you check the stats, Black and Brown communities are being disproportionately affected by COVID because this, that, third, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, well, actually, Africa has been doing pretty well with COVID. I was like, sir, when did I say Africa?
Yeah, he's got a point. He shredded your argument there. He fucking Shapiro'd you.
Are
you familiar with what the term Shapiro'd means at this point?
I have come across it a couple of times. I also have fun fact. One of my sound commands is on my Twitch is Shapiro going through the WAP lyrics. So
I think you just inspired me. I need to make sure I get wet ass P word as a soundbite because I've got like on my mouse I've got the good old, and then I got just for when things are a little more oofy I got just a bunch of stupid shit like that. It's a good time.
I've been having a fun time setting up my Streamlabs bot. My Streamlabs bot, which that was another boom.
Sick keys.
Ooh.
It doesn't work. I gotta replace it. So it's just a horrible fucking piece of technology that just doesn't want to work for what I need it for.
Beautiful. Love that. Love that journey. Yeah, I set up my Streamlabs bot and I set up like a couple of meme things.
Yeah.
Like I set up top 10, like it was like, welcome to Watch Mojo, and you'll be watching top 10 anime betrayals, which is one I actually meant to play during Among Us yesterday, just completely forgot. I got like Daddy Chill. I have I'm a homosexual but I'm a cheerleader. I have Ben Shapiro. I have one. I recorded one for my subscribers where it's like, hi, this is Bianca probably flirting with you. If you ever wanted to know, like, hey, what would it be like if Bianca probably flirted with you? You're experiencing it now. Bianca probably flirting with you.
That's really good. That's a good bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to like create some exclusive sounds, like either from me or my friends, on like for my subscribers to use specifically to kind of, and I don't want to just like get bits from wherever else. Cause
you don't want bits from like, you want like things that you're recording separately.
Yeah.
Like a real reward, because like that way other people aren't just like going off the streams and taking them.
Yeah. So that is my next venture, is to try to come up with more stuff like that. Things I say on stream a lot, which I've figured out while streaming, I say beautiful like a lot. Like especially if I'm building like a Sims house, or if I got a good kill in Borderlands 3, which obviously is the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I'm just like beautiful, and then like I didn't notice it until like one time like someone had pointed it out, and then I'm like, oh no, I do say that a lot.
We're actually me and some friends are also doing a Borderlands 3 playthrough. If you've got an extra level 20 character, you're more than welcome to hop in.
With Borderlands 3, I do know they have a setting where you can just
it scales it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Which I do appreciate, because I did not want to give up my level 60 character when I go fight with other people. I worked hard on her, but yeah, I do appreciate that they do scale it, which is a big improvement from the second one. The second one is still my favorite, like as an overall, but the gameplay on the third one is just fucking baller. So
I haven't finished it yet, but I find the villains, especially coming from like Handsome Jack, to be extremely lackluster. Like, they're funny, don't get me wrong, but like, how you gonna go from Handsome Jack, who's probably like right up there with like Dio from JoJo, is like one of my favorite villains.
He's super. Handsome Jack hits all the key points of a villain, like for me,
in a really good way. And he's funny, which is a huge plus.
And I get what they are doing with Tyrene and Troy, like influencers, but like to the most extreme level of influencers, like having followers that will literally die for them, and just having.
Think of anyone like that in this society right now.
And like comment, subscribe, and obey. Like I think like that's like a really good bit, but I just don't think they have. When you do finish the story, then it'll just be more acceptable. I just feel like there are some things that are done for the story that I don't think was necessary, or wasn't done in a way that I particularly appreciate. Like when it comes to like, some people are just mad. It was like, oh, like I didn't like when like Roland died in the second one. I was like, but I get how it happened. I get the motivation behind it.
I've gotten to that point so far. We just got the first vault key. And finished that vault, so we did get to see what happens to the girl. without
Yeah.
spoiling anything.
Yeah. Bummed me out. I also just don't think Ava is nearly as good as a character. It's like with a lack of comparing her to anybody else, like another orphan, who's a kid in the Borderlands universe. Like Ava compared to Tiny Tina is just like apples to crumbs.
So
like
lackluster. So lackluster.
like
Lackluster.
you got it.
I did. I figured it out.
Yeah, Tiny Tina is one of my favorite video game characters of all time. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep is one of my favorite games I've or levels or DLCs of all time. It's like her story is just really well done, and she doesn't have like a ton of screen time, but it's just good. But so playing Borderlands, which is a game I'm like clearly passionate about, has been really fun, and other things. So,
well, as much as I am really enjoying we can continue this as well in a little bit, but that's our hour for the stream. Is there anything you want to plug before our outro?
See, these parts used to be so much fun, like in real life, and where I'm like, I have this show and this show, and like it's not that anymore. But I do stream on Biancaprobably. That is my Twitch. It's also my TikTok, my Instagram, my Twitter, my everything. Everything's Biancaprobably. My Slack name. It's everything.
I haven't heard someone talk about Slack in like years.
I literally use Slack every day for my job. So, but I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:00 to be changed soon, and every Sunday at noon for Sim Sunday. And sometimes randomly if I feel like it, but definitely Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
Cool. So that was Biancaprobably. I was gonna plug her Twitch, but she already got that, and everything else. Thank you all for tuning in. Next week, it's tentative, but I will post who the guest is a few days beforehand. I just got to make sure that the schedule's going to work out. It will probably be back at the normal time around 4 p.m. Thank you, though, to everyone who tuned in. We had like 2 people in the chat that whole time, but I really appreciate it. Goodbye.